to episode 7 of the Block to Block podcast, the best podcast in the world for all things Web3. Here we break down the technology, what's going on in the market, and the ways in which you can benefit. I am the marketable Mamadou.
And I am the dutiful Derek.
And here, man, the talk is different. So let's start the podcast.
Always. Let's get it.
Always.
Let's get it cracking.
Man, how you doing, Derek?
Hey man, life is filled with peaks and valleys. All you can do is continue hiking. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the day's gonna shine, sometimes the day's gonna rain. All you can do is keep going through the pain. So how you feeling, like marketable Mamadou? How's life on your end?
Man, life is every day's a blessing, bro. Like, I'm really happy to be on this entrepreneurial journey with you and just seeing some of the traction we're getting within like the community with people that we're connecting with regarding Relink and just what we're doing with the Timbuktu. So
yeah. Shout out.
I'm just it's just all about being grateful, man, and recognizing that no matter how much work you may put in and how long you may feel as though you're being unrecognized, by just consistently working each and every day, you'll get some sort of traction and some recognition. So it's just all about persevering, man.
No, yeah, I feel that 100%, man. Listen, it's been a long journey for us, so it takes time when you building something when that sweat equity is really the most of what you have. So I 100% agree, man. I'm also grateful for this entrepreneurial journey. It's definitely not easy, but it's definitely rewarding. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels good at times to just be able to celebrate those little wins, man. Celebrating little wins is, I think that's part of the greatest piece of it. So
yeah,
for sure.
That's a fact. Well, yeah, man, some exciting things are happening in terms of things that we're doing, right?
Yeah. Let the people know.
Man, so I'm about to be on my marketing Mamadou type time, but next week in Washington D.C., the nation's capital, Relink will make history. We are partnering with HOMME DC to present Patrick Henry's art expedition called Mr. Out the Frame. It is the first ever physical NFT art show in the nation's capital. Man,
yes, sir.
a vibe. So you're hearing physical NFT art show. Like, you mean just like regular NFTs? Nah, player. What's happening is Patrick, he's a master at making artwork, right? On wood canvases that pop out at you. So you got some of his work on you, right?
I do have some of his work. Hold on. We about to hold on.
Yeah.
We about to show y'all a little something. Hold on.
A little something. Because we must think we gas and we're not, man. Just wait for Derek to come. You see, we get to see behind his little fake green screen. See the plant of the TV in the background. Don't keep the people waiting, Derek. You see this work.
Y'all not ready for this. Y'all not ready for this.
So remember, 3D. You see that? Oof.
Wood frame coming out at you.
Out the frame, baby.
Out the frame.
So mind you, he makes 3D art in the real life. And what's going to make this art show special is the fact that we as Relink are coming in to power and pair this artwork with NFTs. So that NFT will act as that certificate of authentication for his artwork. It's going to have all the metadata in there, talking about like what it is, the price point, how it's made, everything else of that nature. All that data in that NFT, and that data will be saved within the blockchain. Polygon.
So and this hey man, this is history, man. And with that as well, right? This is artwork that's exclusive. You can't get this artwork anywhere else. He doesn't have multiple copies of this artwork. This
Mm-mm.
is one of one artwork, unique. This is something, man. Listen, y'all have to come to the show to get the full story on Patrick, but he is an amazing artist. He is making waves. When we say up and coming, man, I mean he's done multiple festivals. He is, if you are familiar with New Orleans culture, there's a Treme Festival. He
Mm-hmm.
has just done the poster for the Treme Festival,
Yep.
and man, there's more blessings coming this man's way, coming this artist's way, and
Absolutely.
so we're blessed. We're blessed to have to be one of his first shows outside of New Orleans, before he blows up. So not only are you getting amazing art, exclusive art, one of one art, you're getting it from an artist that is about to become a staple within the art world, that's about to change the game, because there is no art like Patrick's art, right? There's a reason they call him Mr. Out the Frame, and that's because he's doing amazing art, and man, the talent level is through the roof. I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna. So I'm a collector of Patrick's. I have a wood frame, something similar to this, a lot bigger. I have the little trumpet player is the name of it. So I have that, and then I also have a print of his as well. So man, I'm definitely gonna have to upgrade the collection one more time while he's out here in DC, man.
Well, don't spend all that money at the show, bro. We gotta let
Nah,
the people have the chance.
look, man, if they think it's a game, they might have to lose out, because I need another piece. I need another little something to add to the collection. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see a little something, something.
But wait, there's more.
But wait,
Not
there's
only
more.
are we making history with Patrick, and partnering with Home DC. Home Gallery is a black-owned space in the nation's capital. The founder and president Amir is an incredible individual who's working to really just create spaces for like different types of creatives. So like
Yeah,
whether you like fine arts, musical arts, anything of that nature, he has the space for you, and he himself is really booked. But we're also
yeah,
partnering with some key players within the DC ecosystem. Specifically, we are having like auction opportunities in which those proceeds would be donated completely to Howard's art department and the Howard University's chapters of the Alpha Phi Alpha and Alpha Kappa Alpha. The AKAs and the Alphas, man. Making history with
sir. Yes, sir. And we're also doing an exclusive event with the Kappa Scholarship Endowment Fund, the Alexandria Fairfax department or division of that organization as well. Man, I
them.
mean, some amazing people have given us the
Amazing.
opportunity and have believed in what we're doing. So we're excited to really bring an amazing artist to DC, but also work with some great organizations that are culture makers, within our community, right? We talk about 3 C's all the time: culture, community, and commerce, and we're really bringing that all together in our first live activation. So don't miss out. We have something amazing. It's going to be an experience the whole weekend. Friday is opening night, and then that's from 7 to 9, and then we're going to have Greek night. So the alphas and the AKAs are going to be present and representing on Saturday from 5 to 8, where we're going to have just great experience there. Drinks, we have some great sponsors. This is good water. If you have not tried their water, there is a promise that's in their name that you will say for
Black
sure.
luxury water brand.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
put that tagline out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For the culture, by the culture.
Cast.
And also, Cask and Cane is our liquor sponsor, alcohol sponsor, amazing rum company that's based out of Richmond, Virginia, also black owned. Man, it's a blessing, man. Just people out here doing great things and giving us, the time, the space, the product. I'm loving it. I'm
Right.
loving
And wait,
it.
there's
Uh-oh.
more.
Oh, what else we got?
Because we're obsessed with giving value to people, man.
Okay.
So, you may be saying like, man, like some of these artworks, and he's gonna have prints there too. We forgot to mention that, but like this artwork is dope, but I don't have the budget right now to like purchase something so fine and divine. I had to rhyme real quick, but there is an opportunity. We have a raffle. Tickets are
Yep.
only $10, and you can buy as many raffle tickets as you want.
Yes, sir.
You have the opportunity to win a free artwork from Patrick with that comes along with that NFT. So you have the opportunity to get a PNFT, man. So
Man.
so let's rewind a little bit.
Yep.
Making history out in the DMV
Yep.
with the first ever PNFT art show.
Physical
Two,
NFT for y'all that don't know. Yep.
right,
Yep.
physical NFTs. Two, we're partnering with key culture makers within the community, from Howard University to the alphas and the AKAs and the kappas. Three, you're gonna have like a luxury experience. It's gonna be such a great vibe,
Yep.
music, all the whole 9 yards, and you have the opportunity to enter a raffle and win one of these amazing art pieces for only $10.
Only $10. That's crazy. That's
Right.
crazy. And I mean, I think it would be remiss if I didn't tell the people just a little bit of background on how we found out about Patrick, how I met him, but also just giving a little bit of factual history on his artwork and the
Actual
value with yeah on the value of his artwork, right? So I actually met Patrick last year, 2021. There is a festival down in New Orleans called Luna Fete. It's a light festival, light show. Amazing show, man. I enjoyed it. I actually went out there with my god kids. Saying it was a nice cold November, and we went out there. We were having a great time. Um, and actually my girlfriend, she saw Patrick's art, and she said we have to stop, we have to look at it. I think I want to buy something. And so we stopped, and man, the art was amazing, right? Like, I've never seen this 3D, like the artwork. You can imagine this but bigger, right? We're talking, um I don't even know what the size is, like maybe a 2 foot, 3 foot painting,
hmm
um with the same concept, 3D popping out of the frame. And man, we had to buy that artwork. We had to.
I had to.
And so, you know, ever since then have been kind of keeping up with Patrick, and talking to him about this idea of a physical NFT. For him, he was saying that, hey, I want to get into this NFT thing, but I do physical artwork, right? I don't do digital artwork. And
Yep.
so really, what we have been looking into is ways that we can bridge that gap with the physical world, physical products and digital products. And so
Yep.
we saw it as a great opportunity to bring value to Patrick and his collectors. And so, we, decided on doing the show. We've been working on this show now, man. What, we started in June putting this together. So what, 4 or 5 months now we've been working towards putting on this show, doing something amazing for the culture, something amazing for the community, something amazing to bring you the opportunity to engage in amazing commerce, and to get to the point about the artwork. We got ours for $450, right? That was the price for us to buy the art. Right now, that artwork is going for 950, right? And you'll see some of the similar paintings that Patrick has within the show. But man, when it comes to art, it's one of those things that holds value. It's one of those things that increases in value as well, right? And there's so much more to be said about the world of art, that when it comes to our culture, we need to be more engaged with, man. It's beautiful artwork. There's beautiful ways that you can add accessories and color and life and vibrancy to your home. And so, we want to bring that to y'all with this show. And of course, Patrick wants to bring this to you guys. So
Yeah.
definitely come out October 14th from 7 to 9, October 15th from 5 to 8 p.m. We're having an amazing Physical NFT Art Experience featuring Patrick Henry, hosted by HOMME DC, powered by Tim Buck
But
2.
two,
Yes, sir.
we'll have the link to the Eventbrite in the description below.
Yep. Go
Yeah,
ahead and if you aren't able to make it, go and purchase a raffle ticket. I'm telling you, man, like this is
for sure.
artwork you're gonna want. This is artwork you're gonna want. $10 is a
Still,
steal
man.
in that.
Yeah, I'm excited, bro. Like, and just for the people to know, like, I'm originally from the DMV. I'm from Prince George's County, so it's like just a great excuse as well to like go back home and put something on for like my community, right? Which is
Mm.
something that's historic, bro. Like, I
Yeah,
just can't wait. It's gonna
yeah,
be a vibe, man.
yeah.
You're finna look fresh too.
Oh, that's always gonna happen. That's always gonna
Always,
happen
man.
for sure. And we only 8 days out. We only 8 days out.
That's crazy, man. I'm
So
excited.
if you haven't, go buy your ticket right now. Stop. Pause the video. Pause the video. Go buy your ticket right now. What's wrong with you?
And
What's
after
wrong
you
with
buy
you?
that ticket, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share with all your loved ones.
Yes, sir.
Don't be
Yes,
selfish
sir.
with info.
Come on now. Come on
Man,
now. We can all win. It's all good. We could all win. We can all
shout
win.
shout out to everybody that we're working with, man. We really
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
y'all,
Yes, sir.
man. So yeah, now that we got that out the way, I think it's time to really just dive in to like some of the activity that's been happening in this whole Web3 world.
Okay. Okay. Time to get into the market. Let's do it.
Man, I got some major news.
Okay.
Apple is now allowing for NFTs to be sold within its app store.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. What does that look like? What does that mean for us regular folk?
All right, so what it means is that as we know, like NFTs, these non-fungible tokens have been blowing up for the last couple of years, in
Yep.
which we've been seeing like all these marketplaces like a OpenSea or a Magic Eden really create like communities and large businesses off of just selling NFTs. And now Apple is allowing for like developers for like different for apps that are within their app store, like so like old apps or new apps to allow for NFTs to be sold within those mobile applications. And so it's a point in which there's a lot more legitimacy happening within the space, right? So,
Mm.
let's say Timbuktu had an app on the App Store. We now have the ability to offer NFTs within within our application and sell them throughout like the entire mobile app. And so it becomes a lot more accessible in a sense because as we
Mm.
know, Apple is one of the largest companies in the world. They have 1.8 billion Apple devices spread throughout like the world. 1 billion of those are iPhones. And mind you, there's only like seven, not only, but there's 7.7 billion people in the world. So let's
Right.
let's round it up to 8. That means if there's
Right.
like 8 people, one of them has an iPhone.
Mm.
They have that much of a reach.
So I mean, this is my question, right? Are they allowing, or do they see that people are making a lot of money from NFTs, and I mean, either they're gonna hop on the train or get left behind, you
I,
know?
I really feel like it's the latter, right? And what's interesting too, so this move doesn't come without controversy, right? So
Mm.
Apple, for those who don't know, if you have an app within their app store, Apple says that for all revenue that you make through the app, right? Like, so if I download an app from the Apple App Store and I make an in-app purchase, like 30% of that revenue is owed to Apple by the end of the year. So, and they have like two different tiers, right? So if your application is making over a million within a year, they need 30% by year end. So let's say you made like 2 million off your app, right? And that 2 million in revenue is all like in-app purchases. By the end of the year, you owe Apple 600K. And the second tier, if you're not making a million in a year, you're making under that, then you owe Apple 15%. So if you're making, let's say you make it like a mil, right? By like the end of the year, you owe them like what's 15% of a mil? 150K.
Oh yeah, see that's ridiculous. I feel like I knew this, but at the same time, man, like yeah, that's crazy. So it really seemed like they see that hey, this thing is here. We're telling people we're charging them for transactions, but we haven't directly spelled out NFTs. So we got to make sure that we are covering our bases, right? I mean, come on now, if I sold an NFT on a mobile app, I'm sure they still would have tried to come for me and say, hold on, you sold something, you owe us.
Yep.
So, it seems a little suspicious that they're like, oh, well, we're now accepting NFTs. It seems more so they can call it out and charge us for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, absolutely. Like let's be real. So, and another catch is like yes, within the app store you can sell NFTs, but they can only be purchased with like fiat money, with regular US dollar currency. No
mm,
whatsoever.
oh, so you can't purchase NFTs with crypto.
Nope, not within those app stores.
Ooh, ooh,
So really what we're seeing is Apple is taking the Web 2 monetization approach into
yep,
this Web 3 space, and it has a lot of controversy, right? So actually, the CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, and Epic Games is the company that made like Fortnite. He really called out this move and was speaking about like how Apple must be stopped because they're really creating, policies that are like hampering the innovation and the growth of this NFT market, right?
yeah,
And mind you, they had he's also saying that because like last year they had like a huge like legal battle with Apple. Because what happens is, all right, you don't pay that 30% to Apple, you're getting delisted from the App Store. Like your app won't be available whatsoever. And so
mm,
Fortnite's going through this legal battle right now because they got delisted. They felt as though that 30% was like unfair. Because think about it, Fortnite was like the biggest thing since like sliced bread, bro.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Fortnite was huge,
Right.
huge.
And there is a lot of truth into that, right? Like if 30% for like a small business that's really trying to do something to really grow and get out the mud, as we like to say, that's pretty steep.
I mean, especially you take into to account other expenses, right? Like Apple, you're not the only expense for me to make this thing go, nor are you really the most important expense for this thing to go. And I mean, yeah, that's ridiculously steep, and it's really just to list and have the product on the phone, right? It's not like they're delivering a true service, right? Like it's not like they're saying like, oh, we're making apps for you, or I don't
They're
know. In
not.
my eyes, it seems steep.
I mean, they're not, but at the same time, they also have the ability to make your app available to almost 2 billion people.
That's true. That's
So
true. But
that's
also there's the law of numbers at that point though, right? Like your app is available to 2 billion people. Why do you need 30%? Right? Like you can have 5% and still make billions. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like that's I don't know. It seems greedy, a bit greedy
fairness
from
to Apple.
Apple's.
In fairness to Apple, Google has the exact same policy in terms of the percentages that they take out of the app revenue.
See, yeah, man. It's what it sounds like to me is that, and I'm not necessarily a fan of regulation, but at the same time, when it comes to the health of business, there's still some uh, policies. There's still some, we talk about monopolies. Like, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? Like,
Yeah.
able to charge whatever you charge because you're the only major player. Even with Google, I mean, I think that even that is both of
When
them
you
are
and you control the majority of the market share, you can basically do whatever you want.
whatever
That's
you want
really
to do.
and like for my business owners, like shout out to Peter Thiel. Bill, one of the co-founders of PayPal, he says it himself. Like, for like, if your goal is to like be a huge startup, right? Like a very huge multi-million-dollar type company, like it's all about monopolizing the niche that you operate in, right?
Yeah.
So whatever your niche is, you want to be the one that has like 50% market share or more, right? And that's really what we're seeing here, because Apple has a great business model in which they created this entire ecosystem where the technology
Yeah.
is so seamlessly integrated. They have all of these devices. They make it where you can't get substitutes really, right? Like if you have an Android device or a Samsung, you can just get any regular charger from like your local corner store or a Rite Aid or whatever, right? But like with Apple, you need an Apple charger
Yeah.
specifically, or it's not going
Yeah.
to work. And that same principle is taken throughout the entire business model. And so what we're seeing is, hey, they've created a network and an ecosystem where they have almost 2 billion devices in circulation.
Mm-hmm.
They've created a platform for mobile applications and developers to really push out their businesses and connect with these nearly 2 billion devices or 1 billion
Right.
iPhones.
Right.
They're in a position to be like, no, we're going to charge whatever you want. Um, if you're making a mil or more, 30%, but we'll be nice and give you 15 if you're under a mil.
Right. 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 Right.
But
Yeah.
I
That's
mean, it's overall the pros and the cons of this. The cons is it's Web3 ish, right? Ish. Like you can't use crypto to buy NFTs. However,
strongish.
it does bring more legitimacy to the space and it increases accessibility. Because remember, like in terms of at least crypto adoption, only 4% of the world has like a crypto wallet and uses cryptocurrency. So
Mm-hmm.
how many more or how many fewer are using NFTs, right?
Right.
And so, and if you're not really into the space, and let's say you're not tuning into block to block, it's all confusing as hell. I need a crypto what? A crypto wallet? What's
Right.
a regular wallet? Like, and then you're hearing about private keys, public keys, this and that. If you don't take the time to like really understand, it's super confusing, super intimidating. And in this era of where we want everything fast paced, that's too much work too, man.
Right. Right.
So
They messing up by not tuning in to block, but that's neither here nor there.
right,
Neither
right.
nor there.
You know, if you don't want to listen to the best Web3 podcast in the world, that's on you. However, like, for people who just simply don't know and they don't have a platform or outlet to really break down this stuff, it's very confusing.
Yeah.
And so this move from Apple, where it's like, hey, you can purchase NFTs within the apps available on our platform, and you can just use regular cash, that increases accessibility by tenfold.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's not all bad. Obviously, as entrepreneurs who are looking to build companies, like this whole notion of like, dang, 30%, like that's really, really steep. And
Yeah.
if that has implications too in terms of like, well, how would that affect like the secondary sales, right? Or just like sales in general of NFTs. But at the same time, it does bring more accessibility to the common man and woman, and it increases accessibility, it increases legitimacy. And it just shows that this Web3 technology, like NFTs and whatnot, is here to stay.
Yeah. For
Now,
sure. For
here's my
sure.
prediction though. I think this is Apple's first tiptoe within this whole Web3 space. I think in the long run, I wouldn't be surprised in like 2 years if that Apple wallet becomes like a custodial type wallet in which you can like store your NFTs there and your crypto there. I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised at all.
No, for sure. For sure. I mean, it only makes sense.
It
Then
makes
you can literally use that wallet for everything else.
so
So
why not your crypto? And
the part that gives me pause is that the best thing about Web3 is the decentralization, right? It's the fact that there is no central figure that's holding your information. Will Apple move to the beat of that drum. I don't see that being a possibility, right? I don't see them forfeiting the fact. I mean, there's a reason. There's also another reason why they say you got to use fiat, because if you use crypto, right, that means you have to use a crypto wallet, which means that 9 times out of 10 it has to be decentralized, right? Which means 9 times out of 10 they're not going to be able to see that data, right? They can't see how much money you've given to that business at that point. I mean, there's ways for them to do it, but what I'm saying is that I'm sure part of what's going into it, because it's Apple, right? They could have easily, found a way to say, hey, like, we're accepting NFTs, but also, we've you can still, it will, do crypto. You can still use your MetaMask wallet, like, cool, all those things. They didn't do that, and so I think that that's something that for those big companies they're a bit worried about, is the decentralization. They're trying to figure out, well, what does that look like? And for companies, it's kind of scary because they don't know, right? They don't know what decentralization really means for them. When you talk about people being able to own their own data and people to own the economic, you know, benefits from that data. Because right now, Apple owns that. Those 2 billion people, they have that connection to those people, or they have that data from those people. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm interested to see how, two things. One, how, those companies, those big companies, even small companies, figure out this data piece in the decentralized world. And two, I'm interested to see how users of Web3, how users respond, right? Like, if in the current landscape of things, if I'm an NFT buyer, I know a little bit about Web3, I wouldn't want to deal with Apple. You're trying to bastardize, like, this technology, and the reason why this technology is so good. But also, I mean, for those who are getting Web 2 customers into this Web 3 world, it is what it is, right? Like, you want people to buy us. That's the number one thing. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents, as well, at the end of it, just to,
Mm.
you know add in my little piece.
I feel like I'm about to piss off people because I got some semi controversial take.
Oh, give
I
it
don't,
to them. Piss them off.
all right, so I'll preface it by saying this: I love this Web3 world in terms of the technology. I believe this technology has the potential and the ability to revolutionize the world for everybody, right? I mean, we wouldn't be working on D10 if I didn't believe in this because of just the different use cases and the solutions we could offer to just these creatives, right? And these entrepreneurs and culture makers.
Hmm.
With that being said, the idea of us living in a truly decentralized world, I believe more likely than not, it's going to become decentralized ish, right? Just like how this move with Apple is Web3 ish, right?
Yeah.
Like, because let's be real, a lot of these platforms, these blockchains aren't really decentralized, and I love all these projects. Shout out to Ethereum. But once again, Ethereum, the biggest DApp ecosystem's not decentralized. We have these institutional players coming in. We have the US government trying to like really crack down in a sense. You have like you see like institutional investors like BlackRock, Coinbase, um, a, a lot of the lion's share of the crypto for like certain platforms is owned by like the 1%.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not spelling out well for like the notion of decentralization.
So basically, what you're saying is Mamadou think most people don't give a about Web 3. That's what I'm hearing about decentralization. They don't care. They don't listen. They like whatever. As long as I can buy, it's cool. Like, all this
Because
Web 3 stuff is cool, but
it will take like a paradigm shift in terms of your mentality, right?
yeah.
Like, all right, let's be real. does the average person really care that much about their data being like out there like that? I mean, now very, very personal data like social security, yeah, medical. Of course, you want to keep that secret, but like, how? Okay, let's be real. Every time you go to a website and you make an account, more likely than not, what do? You make an account by logging in with your Gmail or your Facebook or
Yeah.
some other social media type platform, right?
Yeah.
That's sharing your data right then and there
Right.
with a
Right.
website or a company that you're not even sure or positive that they're not compromised from a security standpoint.
That's true.
Like we
That's
do
true.
with myself included. I'm not excluding myself from this. Like every time I be looking for the let me make an account with my Gmail button. I
Yeah.
do because IT background, like ew, like kind of putting myself out there. However, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's very
Like
true.
the people who really care a lot about like the taking control of your data aspect, my theory is it's more of like a minority versus like that
Yeah.
average person, the average sentiment. Not
Right.
saying that, and maybe it's not necessarily people don't care, but they're not like we're just been so conditioned to like just give
Yeah.
up the data.
We just accepting it. Nah, for sure. Nah, for sure. So I mean, with that, you know, we're not going anywhere,
Oh,
but
that's
you probably should. And that's my quick take for the day. Is we're not going anywhere, but you probably should. I ain't gonna
a
lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, the market it's an interesting place, man. It's an interesting place to be right now. There was actually an article that just came out. The Celsius top execs, right? They withdrew over 17 mil right before they froze assets. If you're not familiar,
mm,
Celsius went through a bit of a problem back in the mid-summer period where they've had to freeze users' accounts, freeze them from withdrawing money. And of course, before they did that, their execs got out the way. So that's what I'm saying. We're not going anywhere, but you probably should, especially, and this is not a financial advice, but especially if you're into the financial side of crypto. These
mm,
are scary times right now, man. These are times where a lot of those promising companies they've made moves that just have not been beneficial for crypto. And so we've seen companies like Celsius, we've seen those companies file for bankruptcy. So right now, with Celsius, they're under a microscope from the government right now, right? I'm talking about any money that they make from mining Bitcoin, because they have Bitcoin mining operations, that
yeah,
has to go into a pool to pay back the people that they owe, right? Because they filed that bankruptcy. So, right now, this might not be the best time. If you're on the financial side of crypto, you might want to dip out. We're not going anywhere though. And I'm gonna tell you why. We're not going anywhere because during these times, right, where those businesses who have weak foundations, those businesses that have been built on scams and lies, those businesses are being swept away by
mm,
these times. But businesses that are building something serious, businesses that have put into their operations ways to withstand the financial times that we're in, the current economic times that we're in, what's to come. Those are gonna be the businesses that are gonna continue to play in this space, continue to build, and continue to profit, if not grow, within this time period. So again, we're not going anywhere. You probably should. And when I say that, either you should get out, right? If you feel like financially you cannot afford to play within this Web3 space, crypto, things like that, get yourself up out of here. Gone. Bye. Adios. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? But if you are also a business, right, and you're trying to find ways to be innovative, you should be going towards the future. You should be going towards innovation. You should not sell yourself short, because when we come out on the other side of this, you're going to have to understand and know how to use this technology because it's going to change
Absolutely.
the way we do business. So go and get somewhere, man. Go and get somewhere. But that's my quick take for the day.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Listen, if you tired of all those other platforms being all up in your NFTs, making it digital, not physical, scamming you, rock with the D Timbuktu, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. But yeah, no, that's a great quick take. And it just spurred another thought too. Like I think one thing in terms of not financial advice, but security advice from like an IT perspective is you want to invest in getting a non-custodial wallet or like a hardware wallet when it comes to holding your NFTs and your crypto. So let's just break it down what we mean by custodial versus non-custodial. Similar to like how you can have like a custodial account for a child, a custodial wallet or a custodial account is a situation in which a central entity or organization owns your private keys, right? And so an example of this is, let's say, shout out to Coinbase. Let's say you just make a regular Coinbase account, right? And you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin, I'm gonna buy Ethereum, such and such. They're holding your cryptocurrency and whatever other digital asset you may have on your behalf. You don't really own it because you don't own your own private keys. And when it comes to, and that ties into like cryptography or like, just the security part of Web3. Like your private key the unlocks your account and gives you access to all of your digital assets. You never want to share your private key with anybody. So if you have a situation where you have a custodial account, like a Coinbase, regular Coinbase account, that's a custodial account in which they have the private keys. Now, you can be comfortable with that. There's nothing wrong with it. However, from like a security standpoint, if let's say one of these exchanges get compromised or they get to a point where they're insolvent and they just don't have the crypto anymore, you can be SOL. Now, a non-custodial wallet is where you have a wallet like a MetaMask or a Coinbase wallet in which you own your private keys. No organization has access to it. In fact, if you lose your private keys or your secret recovery phrase, they can't help you because they literally have no way to
No
access
way.
that.
Right.
It's very important that
Yeah.
you keep this locked up. You have multiple saved backups or whatever of of your recovery phrases
Yeah. Yeah.
because with a non-custodial account or non-custodial wallet, you have the ownership. And then the hardware wallet is you'll have literally like a USB or some sort in which you'll just like store all your crypto and NFTs and other digital assets there. And you can just like lock it up somewhere in like a safe at home.
Yeah.
Those are just some of like your options. So going back to like Derek's quick take, these are times in which some of the subpar scammy companies are being exposed, right? When they're running off
Absolutely.
those digital assets, they're running off of the crypto, they're running off the NFTs. They're like, they're doing what they call these rug pulls, right?
Yeah.
Just running off of the bag twice, in fact. So if you really worry about security and just want to protect yourself, definitely get either a non-custodial wallet or a hardware wallet.
So, Mamadou, let's let's transition over to something that might be a little bit more optimistic. You let us know though. Let's talk a little bit about this market, right? What
Yeah,
what we what we seeing in terms of the market update. Let's hope it's positive. Let's hope it's optimistic. I'm saying that I'm finding out with y'all what's going on in the market. Let me know.
all right. So as we know, during this market update, a lot of times we focus on the NFT market in terms of what's happening with like transactions, volume, value, everything else of that nature. Because by analyzing the NFT market, you have a good indication of just how the overall Web3 market is playing. So for during the last 7 days, we did see a significant drop in market capitalization, Market
Mm,
capitalization, meaning the entire worth in the entire market, it dropped by 21.47% as of today. But that's still a market cap value of 2.34 billion. So it's not like this is small chicken change type bread.
right.
$1 billion space for NFTs. And while total sales have dropped by 10%, we still saw
Okay.
like 53,074 sales within the last 7 days.
Mm,
And the value of the sales only dropped by less than 2%, 1.62%, with a total value of like 32.18 mil.
okay. Okay. So there's still some value within the market. There's still some things being moved. Okay. I think it shows something similar to what we've been saying. The market is struggling right now, and it's not just this market, right?
It's all markets.
It's all markets right now. It's just it's tough to be within the financial game. It's tough to be selling things, building things. It's just kind of how things are playing out right now with the market. Um, but it's still showing. I think that, and it's something we've talked about over the past month, is that there's still transactions happening. There's still money to be made. It's not dry, right? It's not a dry well. It's a matter of you bringing that value to people who would want to buy your NFTs. So that's it's something interesting to hear, and I think you know it is what it is. It is what it is.
Just remember this: like you can. Uh, Thank you for saying that. Right, like even in times of economic difficulty or struggle, there's a couple of things. One, there's always niches where you can like really carve out a space and still like do well from a business or a financial perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And two, shout out to the OG, Warren Buffett. When others are greedy, be fearful. And when others are fearful, be greedy. Now is the time to be greedy in the sense of, yo, there's like plenty of ways in which I can be creative and I can really find ways to use this technology to solve real problems. A case and an example is us with this physical art show in DC that's happening
Yeah.
next weekend. Copy your ticket
Yeah.
on Eventbrite. Link will be
I'll
in the
say
description.
you will miss it, man. You'll be missing it. We already got tickets going, so you don't want to miss it.
Don't miss out on those raffles either. But like
Yeah.
a serious problem in which we're solving for multiple people in this whole experience. One, Patrick. He's an artist, independent artist, up and coming, but he's seeing like how everybody is, using NFT and just technologies. And he's like, man, how I don't have a technical background. I don't even know how I would go about this whole NFT thing. And yet we're able to partner with him and pair his NFTs with the physical artwork that he's already a master at making, right? That's solving a legitimate problem. Two, shout out to Amir, the president and founder of HOMME Gallery, HOMME DC, black owned gallery out in the DC area, out in Washington, DC. He's like, man, like I put on a great amount of shows. I'm trying to cultivate the space, but I'm really trying to be ahead of the times, right? Like I go to
Yeah.
places like Miami and I see what they're doing, and I don't really know how to go about doing that here.
Yeah.
We're coming in as that technology partner, that consultative partner, and brought him Patrick, like a very new addition to like his roster of just very talented artists that he's worked with, and
Yes.
worked with like Howard's art department and like the local chapters of like Alpha Phi Alpha, Alpha Kappa Alpha as well, in terms of like, you know, introducing them to the technology from
Yep.
like a standpoint that's like in line with the culture, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're really focused on like solving problems while having fun and
Yeah.
you know curating vibes and all that stuff.
Gotta bring the vibes for sure.
We
Gotta bring
got
the vibes.
So that was just a long-winded way of just saying, like, don't be afraid. Now's the time to be creative and really just go out there and make something happen. Because if you can, you'll be in a great position, especially when the market turns for the better.
God dog it. That's the free game Web3 game for the day.
Free
Don't be
game.
scared.
Don't be scared.
Provide value, experiences, have fun while doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Go cop your ticket. Patrick Henry. Next week, Physical NFT Art Experience, Washington,
First ever
D.C. First ever. Go
in
get
the
you a raffle
nation.
ticket. What's wrong with you? What you waiting on?
This is gonna be a vibe, man.
Look. Well, look,
Y'all
my
done
dude.
beautiful Derek.
Look, man, they didn't got me going. They didn't got me going. But with that, my good brother, I think we had a great show today. We talked about some great topics. Of course, we gonna see a lot of y'all next week at the physical NFT art experience out here in DC. Not gonna get your raffle tickets because what's wrong with you? But with that being said, appreciate your time today. Us getting this podcast off, us getting this episode off. I think we brought some value to the people today, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, man. Well, we sounding out. I am the marketable Mamadou.
I'm a dutiful Derek, doing my duties.
Peace, y'all.